Greetings, I am Darkling and this is Ark Survival Evolved. Today I will be showing you how to build a carrier Quetz. This is going to have a little bit of a room underneath it as well, and in an ideal world should be able to carry at least 2 Rexes and possibly a Spino as well, depending on the weight on the Quetz. So stick around and hopefully you'll learn a few new tricks. Okay, so this is the Quetz we're going to be working with today. It has had experience added to it, so as you can see it's got 59 levels. I put a few levels into weight to bring it up a little bit to 2000. As you can see, you can easily pump the weight up quite a significant amount. So first of all, what we're going to need to do is find the corner. Now before I do that, I'm going to take off. I'll put it close to the ground so I can get back on it if I fall off. Now the reason I want to take off is building on a Quetz is a real pain if you're on the ground because it sways a lot more. So what I'm going to want to do is press the right button and roughly in the corner, as close as I can to the actual corner itself, I want to place a pillar. Okay, nice and easy. Now I'm going to put a ceiling on top and then snap a foundation underneath it. Now obviously this is too high. Now what I can do is snap a foundation lower. It actually looks like I've placed the pillar out too far. Okay, so I'm going to redo that. And let's try place it right there. Now it's important to get this lined up well with the center. As you can see, I'm mostly halfway through the range, so that's probably a little bit too far still. So I want to hang it off the edge a little bit. Okay, probably about that much. Let's try that one. That looks about right to me. Now as you can see, it sinks down quite nicely. However, I do not recommend running a sunken foundation work on a Quetzal, because when you sink the foundations in, it obscures the wings and causes all sorts of problems. Now if you've actually got a dino standing on this particular foundation, its claws will still go through and touch the platform itself. Now if you've got dinos touching this platform, that also causes problems. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to raise this up a little bit. I've got some railings on me, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a railing along the side, snap another ceiling to it, and then snap a foundation to that. If I can get it to snap, there it is. I'll then take away all the extra bits. Okay, so that to me is about the height that I want to work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build backwards and fill in the other spots, and then I'm going to change the front a little bit. I'm going to need the other foundations I've got on me. Now I'm going to put 2 triangle foundations at the front here. Then I'm going to remove the original foundations, and as you can see, I can quite happily just drop down and mount the Quetzal. I can go all the way down to the neck if I need to, and I can get back up without too much hassle. So falling off isn't too much of a problem. You always want to be able to have access to the platform itself. Quite a lot of the time I will use just a simple hatch frame to get down, but in this case I'm going to use just a gap. And what I'll end up doing is sticking a railing on each side here just to prevent running off the front if anything happens. From here we're going to put an extension outside. Now the reason I'm doing it this way around is because you can get quite an extension on your ramp. Now I won't be able to on this second, oops, where's that one gone? Oh, there it is. I won't be able to on the second piece. That will only go down 2. I might actually do this part from the ground. Now the wings are going to travel through the ramp as you're flying, so it's not ideal to be standing on the ramp while you're in the air. But as you can see, you can come down 2, and on the very central part you can actually get a 3rd ramp down. That's because the foundations at the front there are close enough that it still counts within the foundation limit. Okay, so as you can see, you can quite happily get up there. I usually leave the second ramp wide, just so when you first get on, you've got plenty of room to maneuver if you have to. So again, we're going to copy that on this side. This is a very simple build. And I'm going to hop off it, oops, hop off again and place the ramps down. Now, I build this particular Quetz carrier quite a lot. As you can see, I can't place that last one. I am quite happy with the design of this and how well it works. On one of the servers I play on, I managed 2 T-Rexes and a Spino on it at the same time and was happily flying around. Now, that's all you have to have on here. However, when I build this, I do a little bit extra because I like to be able to store a few extra bits and pieces if I need to. So what I'm going to do is fill in this gap here, run a section across the back, another section across here, that should bring me even, does look about right. And then off the back I'm going to drop, which one is it, that one there? Do I want it? Yeah, I'll go with that one. Okay, now I should only be able to take a couple off there. You can make it down a little bit lower. I don't think you probably need to when it's landed. This is literally just for when you're on the ground. So you could add that extra one in there, but you should be able to run up without any worry anyway. So I'm going to fill in the blanks around here. This part here is literally just a walkway across to the other side. I haven't got my hotbar set up quite as I normally do, so I'm fumbling around a little bit. That one. Didn't bring enough walls with me. I mean, like I said, you can add that extra one on there if you like. It comes down to whatever you feel like doing. Customization on these is pretty good. It also depends on what the server settings that you're running are. My server settings, I tend to run a lot more platform counts than standard, so you'll have to play with the design. Obviously you probably wouldn't have some of these sections underneath depending on your weight limits, but it's very handy if you can have a little bit of storage or an area to put a smithy or a fridge or a preserving bin at least. Okay, again, not quite enough of those, that's fine. Put a door frame in. There's some more walls, I should have grabbed a lot more when I was there. I think I will add that extra one on there. So as you can see, we now have an internal access, nice and tidy, enough space to put a couple beds down or smithy or anything basic. I mean, this is just mostly a carrier Quetz with a little bit of extra storage in it. It's nothing too major. I would probably tidy it up with a few little trimmings. That's why I probably don't stick the ramp at the very bottom normally. Just because it's so far away you can't actually snap the railings to it. Now I don't rail all the way around most of these. I'm actually going to pull these off. I prefer it without, I think. Easily jump up there. It's not a problem. Now, oh, that was the lower snap to create the ceiling snap point. And up the top here, what I would normally do is just run a few railings around the back. Now I may not be able to place, oh yeah, I can place that one. Now I'm going to have to make sure I snap to the right snap points, otherwise I'll get that lower one. Now, because I'm on the ground that's swaying around quite a bit, I'm actually surprised it's snapping quite as easily as it is, but there we go. Now you don't need railings down the side of here. Obviously your ramp is mostly just for bringing creatures up. If you're going to be running around while you're flying, it's generally up here. So as you can see, it's quite an easy build to assemble. Jump down. Why is it not? There we go. As you can see, no worries with moving it around. Still got your speed, you can still fly up and down. The biggest worry with a Quetzal is if you sink the foundations into it too much, that it obscures how the actual flight takes place. So what I'll do is I'll load this up with a couple of Rexes and whatnot and show you what it can carry, just to prove that it does actually work. So I'll cut and come back with a couple of dinos and you can check out how it looks. As you can see, I've spawned in 3 dinos here to test it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the Spino on first. He's the most awkward one, so it's going to be the best one to put up there. Now, one thing I forgot to do is turn off the allied looking, because that is a real pain for doing this. Behavior, disable ally looking. I'm really glad they finally added that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to center this guy as best I can. Looks pretty okay to me. Grab a Rex. And the other Rex. As you can see, the platform's looking pretty full. Now, this Quetzal's a little bit overloaded. Depends on the weight as to how many you can carry. So I'm going to up it a little bit. And as you can see, they'll move around quite nicely with the carrier, and you can make pretty reasonable trips on it. Obviously, the better your weight, the better your carry is going to be. If you've got, some of my Quetzes have 4,000 carry weight, so moving things around on these are not a problem. Golems, whatever you need to, as long as it's a dino that is capable of riding on a platform. Because some obviously aren't capable. Obviously you're not going to be able to put a Giga on here. Anything else that has a platform saddle can generally not stand on another platform. So hopefully you've learned a few new tricks with this. If you like the video, remember to hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button to see more videos, and happy building. Take care. I'll see you later.